Hey, 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 hey. What's happening out there, folks? Peace in. Welcome to another edition of On the Cutting Room Floor. I'm your host, Tony Ray Harvey. You know where I'm podcasting and broadcasting from, the Sacramento West, Southwest side of Sacramento, Greenhaven pocket area. Let's get down into it. That's right. That's right, folks. The Sacramento Kings lost their 16th straight game in a row, 139-122 to the San Antonio Spurs in San Antonio. San Antonio wins 8 straight by beating the Kings. As I just read one line, the woeful Kings, because that's exactly what this is. I'll say it again and again and again and again. It's a culture of losing, and they're just adding on to it. They're just adding on to it, okay? Right now, in the midst of this storm, Sacramento GM Scott Perry and head coach Doug Christie are clearly in the middle. Clearly in the middle of it, okay? And although they are part of it, it didn't start with them. I've been in this city since 1988. 1988. And they made the playoffs the first time that they made the playoffs a couple years before I arrived. 1985. That was their first year in Sacramento. All right. And then they made it again once or twice in the 1990s. One of them was Mitch Richmond was in uniform. He was an all-star. He was doing everything like that. Okay. Gary St. Jean, he was the coach. And then they fell off a little bit. And then they hired Jeff Petrie and things take off. They hire Rick Adelman and things take off. So I basically seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons of winning from this ball club. And I also seen 16 straight seasons of futility. Them not making the playoffs. And then they make it in 2022. And then they go right back to their losing ways. All right. Yeah. So, actually, if you look at it, the Kings done made the playoffs one time in about 19, 20 seasons, give or take. I want to say 19 seasons. One time in 19 seasons. All right. So now, we got this thing that's going on with, certain people who, don't do anything else but cover the Kings. And I mean, nothing else but cover the Kings. That's it. All right. Nothing else but cover this losing franchise. What more can I say? Who tries to be part of the culture, from what I heard him say on one of the radio shows. So that means you own this. You own this too. Okay? Because you don't have anything else going on but the Sacramento Kings. And the Sacramento Kings were not here in town. All right? You probably wouldn't be doing nothing. You'd be stacking shoes again. Putting away shoe boxes or whatever you was doing and stuff. All right? So that's what I want to say about that part. Because, okay, the fans are the backbone of this franchise. They're the one buying the tickets. I'm just covering the game. I'm just providing information. Of course. Recapping the game. Okay? Bringing it to them. All right? Matter of fact, these fans these days know more on what's happening in that media room. Without a doubt. That's it. But there seems to be like a heavy spirit over this franchise, okay, over this city that continue to perpetuate this type of losing. Remember what I said, this is a culture of losing, a culture of losing. I have never seen anything like it for the last 25 years. I've been watching this. Those early 2000s will be the greatest time of this city's history. Because I don't know when it's going to come back. I might be 100 years old before they make the playoffs again. All right? And we have certain things with. I mean, come on, you guys only gonna seen one playoff here. Don't come up here telling me about before then when you was young and they was making the playoffs. I'm talking about right now while we're sitting in that media room. What's going on with this franchise? One playoffs. Now, the other part of that is the reason why I say that, and I bring this all up here because I'm talking about coverage. All right, I'm talking about me as a defender of the Fourth Estate who covers everything, not just sports. But when I come to sports and I see this with the Sacramento Kings, understand this. De'Aaron Fox is going to the playoffs. Harrison Barnes is going to the playoff this upcoming postseason. Corliss Williams is sitting on the bench in San Antonio. They're going to the playoffs. We are going to be sitting at home watching the playoffs. Players and the playoffs. All right? So you can get all, your Cracker Jacks happiness and moments and analytics and everything else and whatever the hell you do, okay? This is a culture of losing. A legacy of losing. And once again, I'm not starting with Scott Perry or Doug Christie. This goes on way before that. It's been going on. It's been going on. Can't be really too happy about it because if you're going to be covering the teams, you got to be in the middle of things. You got to, okay? That's something that I do understand. 139 to 122. Spurs jump out 11-0. All right? At one point, the Kings fall back by 15 points. They came back. They made a game up. In the third quarter, I believe, they were down by 5 points, 99 to 94. And then Spurs just took off. That's what we're dealing with right now. I know with the injuries and everything that now I respect what Maxime Raynaud said the other night after the game when he was talking to us about they're going to get it right. Okay, I trust in that because I believe in this young man. He really wants to play for this team, this organization. That's his job. But 16 straight, that's where it stands. I don't know where this is going to stop because right now they headed to the Memphis Grizzlies. I think they play them on the 23rd. What's the day? The 21st, yes. So that'd be Monday. That's the next stop. They're on a 5-game road trip. Yeah. But you just want to be part of the culture. You're just part of the culture. I never heard anything like that. You're going to be doing this type of stuff. Because you own it. You own it. And you know, with your serious personality disorder, you don't have nothing else going on. You leave that house, the only thing that you're thinking about, Sacramento Kings. I leave this house, I'm thinking about a number of things when it comes to journalism. All right? I love covering sports too, but I don't think really anything that I'm doing right now other than, feeding information to the masses, just doing that I'm going to solve anybody's problem, especially in sports. Now, all this other things, yes, you do want to affect some of the stories, data-driven, okay, human interest, okay, all right, thought-provoking, compelling, all of that, okay? You do want to be part of that, but these are millionaires, athletes. Most of them, when they go home to their luxury homes and their, they fast, high performance cars. But you think you really doing? But come on, man, come on. You are part of this culture too, if that's the case. Okay, and you know who I'm talking to too. I mean, there's all type of stuff that goes on that I don't understand, that I don't see anywhere else as far as media corps. Now, there's some people down there busting their butt down there, and I do understand that. And they know who they are, okay? I'm not talking about the television people because they do a great job of it too. I'm not talking about the beat writers because they're on the road. That's their job, okay? At least they get to travel with the team, all right? You're going to sit at home behind a microphone and, and say you're an insider Okay, when we have two capable people around here, and Sam Amick and Anthony Slater, who goes all over the place, those are insiders. That's what I call insider. Okay, traveling all over the country from team to team, okay. But just the Sacramento Kings, you can't do nothing else but this. This is it. But cover the Kings, that is. Now, don't try to put her off like you cover the NBA. It's the Sacramento Kings that's the only thing, because that's it. That's your comfort zone. That's your comfort zone. Okay? I don't know what's going on, with these things, because I have these. I go through a lot of stuff too in this business, but I never waver. I never waver. Because a lot of things just going on out here. Okay? Boy. This is something great. Look, they didn't drop the last 16 games. Let me get back on track on that, and that's just where it is. And I'll say it again. All right. Sacramento Kings, they are going to get the top 5 pick if they keep going in this direction. No doubt about it. But what gets me about that, okay, you get the top 5 pick. You get the number 1, the number 2, the number 3, or the number 4, the number 5 pick, wherever you fall in the lottery. You get that. We know how deep this draft is. You get that. Okay? With this organization, you can't say it's going to be a perfect fit. Okay? Or fix. A fit or fix. Because you're going to get that. That don't mean that this person, whoever you're going to get, who can change this franchise, that's yet to be seen, because you got to go through the process. Because one thing that he will be doing, wherever that pick is, he will be coming to basketball hell. And this is basketball hell. Mm-hmm. And every facet of the meaning. I'm not just talking about the franchise. This stuff is just totally ridiculous. Like I said, to me, and I believe in my higher power, something is really, just hanging over this whole thing to keep this in it. Because when you look outside of Sacramento, which a lot of people don't, because I do, you look outside of Sacramento and it doesn't matter what you're talking about, baseball, basketball, football. Oh, Sacramento? Oh boy, that team is terrible. Didn't you guys just have one good season? One good season. Made the playoffs. And reverted back to this old ways. Old ways. Okay? You do want to win. You can't win all the games. I understand that. You do want to win. You want to get into the playoff. You want to get deep into the playoffs. We had that opportunity. All right. Now, Scott have to break everything down. Either move these contracts that these top three or four players have, okay, and start over with it. That's just how it has to be. And part of that start is the draft. It is the draft. The NBA 2026 draft is coming up. But I'll say it again. I don't know, as far as basketball hell, you could get I would like to see them get an AJ DeBonsa. Okay. He seemed like he could be a franchise product for this town, for this city. He could be. I don't know what's going on with Darren Peterson. All right. People questioning where he should be number 1. So am I. I don't know. Okay. Cam Boozer looked like a nice choice. Caleb Wilson looked like a nice choice. Saw Kingston Fleming today. Of course, they lost to Arizona. Arizona is really, really good, even though they had dropped down to number 4. But Houston was number 2. So Arizona's most likely going to move up to number 2, depending on what happened with this Michigan and Duke game that's currently going on right now. I don't know where Sacramento's going to do as far as that, And I did say Caleb Wilson, they can go deep. I don't know. It's going to be about 10 deep. It's going to be about 10 deep. Now, I do know, and I keep saying, though, I know Keaton Wagler, pronounced Keaton Wagler, is going to be somewhere in the mix. Definitely in the top 10. Not saying he's going to be in the top 5. They did lose tonight because I'm watching 2 games. They lost in overtime to UCLA on the last second layup shot by, what's his name? Dylan Kent or something like that, whatever. Okay, but they did lose. But I'm not talking about that. But it was a good game. At least it was a close enough game because I could switch back, checking in and see what's going on with the Sacramento Kings, and I'm looking at the stats so I can, do this little recap and things like that. But when I'm getting at though, I don't know. I don't know. But the money gonna be there on the table for whoever the Kings pick. So they're definitely coming here, and you want to get your paycheck. But then you're gonna have to deal with this. You have to deal with this. Teams coming in here, owning it like they live there. It's go to one center. Okay. Sometimes you get a little lucky on the road, but you got to deal with that. Teams shooting threes out of this world, especially if they came in shooting 25% from three-point territory. Then all of a sudden, they shooting 45, 50% against the Sacramento Kings. You're going to have to deal with that. Okay. And then some other stuff too. Okay. All right. That's what it is around here. 16 straight losses, folks. I won't carry this off up in there. The Kings have lost their 16th straight game. They're 12-46 on the season, and they are 3-26 on the road. And let me not forget to tell you that they have not won a road game since December 6th when they beat the Miami Heat of last year. Okay, they did not win a road game toward the end of the year, and thus far, we're in the 20th day. Okay, almost 2 months into the new year, and they still haven't won a road game. And they're on a 5-game road trip. Hopefully they can get one before they come back. Stop this stuff, man. Stop this stuff. Okay? I'm going to call it what it is. It is basketball hell. And this is a culture of losing or a legacy of losing, or however you want to call it. It is that. Okay? But understand what I'm telling you. Okay? Whatever the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people who tunes in, and I appreciate that. Okay, it extends further out other than just the franchise. It does. It does. I'm seeing that. Okay, I understand also that I do work around some really good people who really take pride in the work that they do. Some people just think it's all about them. Well, one or two. Well, definitely one. Okay, put it like this. Most ridiculous thing. I've been reporting for a long, long time. In all areas, if you know it, okay? You Google Antonio Ray Harvey or Tony Ray Harvey. Google it. And I guarantee you will not just see sports articles. You will see a variety of everything, my body of work. Everything, okay? Locally, on the state level, and nationally. Period. That's reporting. That's journalism. And I do appreciate covering the Sacramento Kings and the NBA. I have covered the NFL, covering MLB baseball right now. Locally, the A's, the West Sacramento A's, or whatever you want to call them too. But my goodness, I've never seen anything like it. And it's only happening from one organization, and that's the Sacramento Kings. That's the Sacramento Kings. I know it's a tough season. I know it's a tough season definitely for Doug Christie, okay? Because I pray for this dude. I bless him too, all right? It's tough. It's tough. But it is what it is around here. It is what it is around here. It's totally, I said it's not going to get any worse than this, and I don't think that it is. Sacramento Kings played the Memphis Grizzlies in 2 days for their second game, their second contest of this 5-game road trip. Let's see what happens with that, because Memphis did beat them here the last time they was here, so they're part of that well, they won, but they're part of that losing streak that the Kings are currently on. So let's see what happens right there. I do want to thank everyone for stopping in for another episode of On the Cutting Room Floor. I'm your host, Tony Ray Harvey, and I should be back after that game. If not, I'll be back for that third game on that road trip, providing to see what they happen. We just going to recap and add commentary, recap, right on out to the end of this season, though. Appreciate you. Peace. I'm out.